Good morning to all our listeners of Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today is the 8th of January, 2024, and we have some breaking news straight from the aviation industry. An unused exit door blew open minutes into an Alaska Airlines flight, involving a Boeing 737 MAX 9. This incident forced the aircraft to return to Portland, Oregon shortly after takeoff. The National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, found the plug responsible for the blowout in the backyard of a schoolteacher near Portland. This discovery is anticipated to play a vital part in the investigation. In response to the incident, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, grounded all Boeing 737 MAX 9s involved, impacting approximately 171 planes globally. This includes Alaska Airlines, which grounded its entire 737-9 MAX fleet, and United Airlines, which suspended service on its Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft temporarily. The NTSB, FAA, Boeing, Alaska Airlines, Airline Pilots Association, and the Association of Flight Attendants are all currently investigating this incident. Despite previous crashes in 2018 and 2019 involving the Boeing 737 MAX 8 model, the NTSB does not suspect an overall design problem with this recent incident. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates and in-depth discussions on this developing story. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Emily.
And joining you today, this is David.
We're here every day at the same time on Hot Topic and Fresh News. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. It helps us a lot. Now, let's get straight to the hot topics.
Could you elaborate on the discovery made by the National Transportation Safety Board?
Yes, the NTSB found the plug covering an unused exit door that had blown out during Alaska Airlines' flight. This plug was found in a schoolteacher's backyard near Portland.
How crucial is this discovery for the investigation?
It's quite vital. The investigation revolves around identifying the cause of this blowout that forced the Boeing 737 MAX 9 to return to Portland shortly after takeoff.
Did this incident prompt any immediate action?
Absolutely. The Federal Aviation Administration grounded all Boeing 737 MAX 9s involved in the incident until they're satisfied with the safety of the planes.
Could you pinpoint when the issue with this specific plane started?
The pilots of the same plane reported 3 pressurization warnings from cockpit dashboard lights between December 7th and January 4th. However, it's important to note that these warnings might not be related to the recent blowout incident.
Were any measures taken in response to the pressurization warnings?
Yes. The plane was forbidden to make any long flights over water so it could return quickly to an airport if the warning light appeared again. Additionally, a deeper investigation into why the light kept illuminating was ordered, but it wasn't conducted before the incident.
It seems like the FAA is taking immediate steps.
Indeed. The FAA has called for immediate inspections of certain Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes following this incident.
Wow, this is certainly an unfolding story. Any final thoughts?
It certainly is. The key takeaway is that the safety of passengers is paramount, and every measure is being taken to ensure it. We'll keep our audience updated as the investigation progresses.
What happened exactly in the cockpit following the blowout?
The scene was quite chaotic. After hearing a bang and the cockpit door flying open due to depressurization, the flight crew immediately put on their masks. Communication became very difficult amidst the chaos.
Could the flight crew communicate with each other effectively?
The cockpit door was slammed into the front restroom door, damaging it severely. It took a flight attendant 3 attempts to close the cockpit door again. Also, the headsets of the first officer and the captain were damaged, forcing them to use the overhead speaker for communication.
Was there any loss of crucial information during this incident?
A quick reference checklist, which is kept within easy reach of the flight crew, flew out the door. This has added significant challenges to the ongoing investigation.
What about the cockpit voice recorder?
Unfortunately, the voice recorder was completely overwritten. This has been an ongoing issue in aviation investigations. The National Transportation Safety Board has been pushing to increase the cockpit voice recording requirement to 25 hours.
Is this prompting any immediate measures by the FAA?
The FAA has proposed a rule to increase the voice recording requirement, but only for newly manufactured aircraft. Also, the blowout on the Alaska Airlines flight led the FAA to ground many of the MAX 9s, impacting about 171 planes worldwide.
Can you give us a brief on what happened during the flight?
The flight was en route from Portland, Oregon to Ontario, California, when the door plug blew off just minutes into the journey at approximately 16,000 feet. The plug was covering an unused emergency exit.
This is a terrifying incident. Do we have any concluding thoughts?
It's a scenario that underscores the importance of safety regulations in aviation. As the investigation continues, we hope to learn more about what led to this incident and how future similar incidents can be prevented.
Could you clarify how serious this event was?
This was not a mere incident. It was an accident. The plane had to return to Portland International Airport soon after taking off due to rapid decompression caused by a mid-cabin door plug departing the airplane.
What kind of impact did the accident have on the passengers and crew?
Fortunately, none of the 171 passengers or 6 crew members suffered serious injuries. The 2 seats next to the part that tore off were unoccupied.
Who is currently investigating the incident?
The incident is being investigated by multiple agencies, including the FAA, NTSB, Boeing, Alaska Airlines, the Airline Pilots Association, and the Association of Flight Attendants. The FBI is also assisting with locating parts that came off during the flight.
How is this incident affecting airlines using the Boeing 737 MAX 9?
Alaska Airlines, which uses the Boeing 737 MAX 9, grounded its entire fleet of this model for inspections. This led to the cancellation of hundreds of flights, impacting tens of thousands of passengers. United Airlines also temporarily suspended service on their 737 MAX 9 aircraft while they conduct the inspections required by the FAA.
Are non-U.S. carriers also affected?
Yes, carriers worldwide, including Turkish Airlines, have grounded some versions of the Boeing 737 MAX 9. In total, Boeing has delivered about 218 of these planes worldwide.
This is certainly a major international incident. How are airlines working with passengers affected by the cancellations?
Airlines are working with customers to reaccommodate them on other flights, and in some cases have been able to avoid cancellations by switching to other aircraft types.
How has Boeing responded to this serious event?
Boeing is fully supporting the FAA's decision to require immediate inspections of 737-9 airplanes with the same configuration as the affected airplane. Their CEO, Dave Calhoun, has postponed a leadership summit to focus on supporting Alaska Airlines and the ongoing investigation.
What is the history of Boeing 737 planes in relation to these incidents?
The Boeing 737 MAX series has had a troubled history. In 2018, a Lion Air flight on a Boeing 737 MAX 8 plane crashed, and the following year, an Ethiopian Airlines plane of the same model also crashed. These accidents resulted in over 300 deaths and led to the grounding of the jets in March 2019. The planes were allowed to return to service late in 2020, but production was paused in April over an issue with aircraft parts.
Given this history, is there a suspicion of an overall design problem?
The NTSB's current stand is that they don't suspect an overall design issue with the plane, though the investigation of this recent incident is still ongoing.
It seems like there's still a lot to uncover here. We'll continue to follow this story as it unfolds. Thanks for the comprehensive report.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Hot Topic and Fresh News. We dove deep into an important breaking news story, and we're so glad you could join us. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Your engagement, whether it's a like, a share, or a comment, really does mean a lot to us. Don't be shy about spreading the word about our show.
Absolutely, get everyone in on the action. We're your daily dose of news analysis served with a side of humor. And hey, who doesn't love a good news chat over dinner?
That's right. We're here every day, serving up the most current and relevant news topics. Your trust means the world to us. and we're so thankful for your support.
Yes, huge thanks to all of you. And I've got good news. There's more where that came from. So mark your calendars, set a reminder, or do whatever you need to do to tune in next time. Stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news. Our channel's content will amuse. See you next time.